What's up, guys? It's Lawrence here with Full Case, and I just wanted to go over some of my thoughts on the Windup Watch Fair. We just wrapped up yesterday after a 3-day event, which was a lot of fun and a great eye-opening experience. Windup is run by Worn and Wound, and I think the EDC Expo is a kind of new addition to that, which is organized by Carryology. So really cool mix of watches and everyday carry community and products and representation from a lot of different brands. Um, I think they run one in San Fran, Chicago, and New York City. So it's 3 times a year. So if you're in any of those areas, I highly recommend going. Uh, One thing that I really liked about the show was the audience and also the sponsors. They just had a strong they had a really strong sense of style, and they were very curious about storytelling and creativity. One thing that I found really interesting as an exhibitor that I'd never been asked before doing shows in like the outdoor or knife setting or tactical setting was, who is the designer? So a lot of people would pick up the product and they would really want to hear about the story and philosophy behind the design. And they would always ask, who is the designer? Which is, I thought that was really cool. So to me, that showed that not only were they interested in what the product was, but who were the people behind it. And when I did get a chance on Sunday to kind of walk around the show and talk to some of the different sponsors and watch brands and EDC people, I found it was very fascinating, and everybody had influences from race car driving to astrology to being made in America. It was really cool that everyone had their own story to tell, and they were expressing it in the form of a watch or EDC gear. That was really cool. There was just a really strong sense of entrepreneurship and creativity. A lot of people there, they were doing the show for their first time, which I thought was really inspiring, especially that they did really well. So that was really awesome. The show was pretty much packed from beginning to end. It was basically shoulder to shoulder walking through the areas where they had the watches and pretty much throughout the rest of the show, which is sounds like that might be a bad thing, but for a show, I think it's a really good thing. It just kept the energy really lively, and for a sponsor, that's really good because you get a lot of exposure to your brand. Um, I do think that as Volt, it's one thing that I feel we probably could have done a little bit better was represent more of the things that we we have as far as products. Vol itself doesn't have anything beyond cases as of right now, but I do have brands in Revo, and we have products that are EDC centric, and we had our products out there, the cases loaded up with watches and some uh, knives as well, and the knives and the watches got just as much attention as it did the cases. Again, the audience was very educated, very well informed, very curious. So hopefully next year we can bring in some one-off items as well as some of our EDC items, because it seems like people had a very open mind and they were really wanting to engage and learn about every product. Not just watches, but anything that kind of told a story they were interested in. That was really cool. A lot of these shows I've done in the past, the main question I get asked is just, how much is this, right? How much does it cost? Which is a fair question, of course, but that wasn't the first question when people came up to the table. The first question was, hey, what is this? Who is the designer? How does it work? Kind of tell me a story. And the last question would be, what does it cost? So that was really cool. I am a watch enthusiast, and I mainly like, G-Shock and Seiko. I like higher end brands as well. But one thing that I really realized, if you're a watch person, you got to go to these shows, because I thought I knew a lot about watches, but when I started walking around, I realized I didn't know anything. There's so many micro brands that some of them are well established. I just never heard of them, and there's some really cool up and coming brands. And when I walked around the show, there almost wasn't any watch that I didn't find appealing. Everything had a story to tell, and everything was just really awesome. Very eye opening. It just makes me want to explore the the watch community even more, and maybe explore some different brands. Um, so if you're ever in the San Francisco area, Chicago or New York, and they have one of these fairs, I would highly recommend going. Awesome audience, awesome crowd, really great products, overall good time. So hopefully next year we'll be able to do it. We'll do it a little bit differently, have some custom gear, one-offs, and some more EDC items to represent. But overall, a great experience, and hopefully we'll see you guys next year. And if I was able to interact with you, thank you so much for coming by, and thanks so much for your support.